All right, welcome back. Now, Statistics South Africa will release the Consumer Price Index today ahead of the South African Reserve Bank announcement on the interest rate. The Reserve Bank uses the CPI headline to set interest rates. But for more on this, we're now joined by economic analyst Precious Lugayeni. Precious, thank you for your time and good morning to you. Let's talk about what we can expect. I suppose more of a preview ahead of that announcement and that release of those stats and data by Statistics SA. What do you think South Africans should expect?
Thank you, Tomelo. Look, Tomelo, the economy operates in a very uncertain environment. So the expectations may be real or they may be right or they may be wrong. But given the circumstances that we are in, look at the prices of goods and services that are increasing, we can expect that the consumer price index will increase. Those figures will be higher than they were before. So that is the expectation, which means that the cost of living has increased for the consumers.
And when we talk about cost of living, we're talking food basket, we're talking fuel price hikes. So consumers should not be surprised should these prices continue to increase. Is that what you're saying, Precious?
That's what I'm saying. They should expect that because of the issues like the price of petrol, as you said, the consumer price index will be higher. And recall, Tumel, also that in South Africa, sometimes we use what we call the CPI X, which excludes certain things that we pay for, the electricity, the medical aids and all, it's a school fees and all those kinds of things, which means that the CPI is actually even higher than the actual figure that are announced.
Yeah, we'll continue to, of course, monitor the negotiations between Russia and Ukraine during this war, during this conflict. And South Africans continue to wonder if there will still be an impact felt, even though geographically it may be far away, but of course home, we may still, of course, see the impacts of the war to us economically.
We are definitely going to feel the impact of the war, as we're already starting to see the price of oil going up. But also there was an announcement that the price of bread may go up because we import a lot of wheat from those countries, from Russia in particular. So it means that the consumers, the war in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia, is definitely going to affect us.
When we talk about, the Reserve Bank, let's just perhaps go through what they use for context and understanding purposes, obviously for our viewers' benefit. I mean, how do they, of course, set these interest rates? We're also expecting them, of course, as the Reserve Bank to talk about, interest rate hikes or lows, of course, in the coming days.
Look, in South Africa, we have a policy which is called inflation targeting policy. Excuse me. That policy is meant to manage inflation, to keep it under check so that it must be kept within the range of between 3 and 6%. And the purpose of inflation targeting is to reduce any uncertainty that may occur. For example, investors want to be sure what the interest rates will be. Look, the inflation targeting policy actually aims to maintain price stability. And the instrument that the Reserve Bank uses to maintain that price stability is the interest rates. So when the consumer price index is high or when the inflation seems to be increasing, the Reserve Bank will increase the interest rates to cap spending. But in the South African economy, I don't know which spending are we capping, because the spending is already depressed because of unemployment, price increases and other things. But the Reserve Bank will use these CPI figures to determine the interest rate.
And when we talk about, those rates, I mean, I suppose everyone wondering right now if the MPC will actually hike by, 25 or even 50 basis points when it wraps up its 3-day meeting. We understand, of course, is coming Thursday, which is tomorrow, the 24th. What are your views on that? Well,
for the greater part of 2021, the interest rates have been going down. But towards the end of 2021, we saw a 25 basis points increase. And economists have predicted that that was the beginning of an increase in interest rates up to 2022. So we can expect, if the consumer price indexes price figures are higher, then we can expect an increase in the interest rates. Of course, the interest rates are meant to cap spending, like I said. But the problem with the interest rates is that it does not only make the new goods expensive, it also makes the old ones expensive. For example, when the interest rates hike, then your car that you are already paying for, the installment will go up, and the house that you already have the payment for that house will go up. Maybe, I don't know whether the inflation targeting policy is good for emerging economies, but that is what economists say.
Yeah, Precious, with that being said, I mean, where or how do you rather predict South Africa's pace when it comes to economic growth? Are we heading in the right projection? Should we be concerned as a country, as a nation, as consumers? Because we hear of talks from the finance ministers, the president about plans for, economic recovery and growth. But where, in your view, are we headed?
We are on a road maybe to nowhere. Because we hear about the plans, but we don't see the implementation of the plans. The president yesterday talked about 700 billion commitment of investments, but I still need someone to show me what is there to show for that 700 billion. Has it landed? Is it still coming, or it will not come? So I think we are in trouble, because for us to get growth, we need investors, which we don't have. Or we need capital injection by domestic businesses, which we don't see. So I think we are still in trouble. The recovery plan, I must say, Tumelo, I didn't understand the recovery plan. I understand the need for recovery, but the actual plan, I don't understand.
Still needs clarity there from government. But I appreciate you speaking to us this morning. Precious Lugayeni, of course, political economist, joining us this morning. We expecting Stats SA to release the consumer price index, of course, today, ahead of the South African Reserve Bank announcement of the interest rates. And we'll keep you updated on those news right here on eNCA.